Hello everyone, thanks for coming. My name is Joel Levin. Some people call me the Minecraft teacher, and I'm really excited that we're all here to talk to you today. And to, I'm the one that tends to be in the spotlight, which I'm slightly still uncomfortable with, and because I'm an American. But the MinecraftEDU project is much, much bigger than just me, and it only works because there's some other very smart, talented, good-looking people up here on the platform with me. And so I think it's great that you're going to meet them and kind of find out what they do. So maybe we'll just start by, we'll go down the line and have everyone just say your name and what you do with the MinecraftEDU project, or the teacher gaming company. So we form a company called Teacher Gaming, which makes, among other things, MinecraftEDU. So.
Okay, hello. My name is Santeri Koivisto. I'm first of the 5 Finnish in here. Probably, I don't know if some of you are also from Finland. But yeah, I actually act as a CEO of the company. I was one that, well, a super brief history. Me and Aleksi were there sort of putting up the company first, and Joe was the one in the United States getting all the sort of the hype around Minecraft in education, and then sort of we formed up during July 2011, and from there our sort of history together started. But yeah, I'm most of the guy who runs the boring stuff in the company, but also some of the design perspectives, because my background is elementary school teacher from Finland. Well, I just graduated a couple of weeks ago, and I haven't done a single day of teaching job after that, but that's how it goes. Thank you.
Yeah. Hello everyone. My name is Aleksi Postari. I'm the creator of MineCon, lead developer in the project. My background, I've been in IT university. My thesis left over there, and I started with the MinecraftEDU project last summer from scratch. And since then, I've been doing all the stuff related to development, plugging ideas, managing this team, and all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll just I'll say my piece in this. So I'm the director of education for Teacher Gaming, and I sort of oversee a lot of the actual content, and we have all these development ideas and things we want to do for the mod, and I sort of I'm the quality control about what teachers would actually find useful in the classroom. And I'm also still a full-time teacher myself, so my students beta test a whole lot of MinecraftEDU as well.
Yeah. So hello. Professional battery. Great. Sure.
No reach.
Yeah, the battery died. Hello, I'm Taio Saarelainen, and I'm kind of a new guy. I've been only around for like 6 months, and I'm the code slave for Aleksi, which is kind of my boss. And I started as intern for our school, and that's pretty much it. The intern ended like a few weeks ago, so I actually already quit.
But you're not out of the picture yet.
Yeah,
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Hello, I'm Mika. Just like Tavi, I work as an intern. Basically, what I do is Java programming. As part of my studies, I'm studying to be a game programmer. So, like Tavi, I work under Aleksi. I do basically anything code related.
All right, hold on a second here. It's great.
Anyone got a 9-volt battery?
Here, I can move it.
Can we have a 9-volt battery here? The wireless mic is dead. Yeah.
Yep, hello. My name is Toni Paavola. I'm a developer. I work mainly with Aleksi, and my history is I did my internship, same as these guys, about a year ago, and since September I've been really working as a member of the coding team, and I do same stuff as the rest of these guys, mainly programming.
Okay. Thank you. So I thought how we kind of work this is we'd look a little bit at the past, how this all kind of came to be, how we ended up working with Mojang, or Mojang, as these guys say. I've heard them say, I've heard Carl say Mojang, so I don't know. Yeah. Who thinks it's Mojang? Who thinks it's Mojang? I don't know. It's tough. There's be a panel on that. So, I thought we'd look a little at the past and then sort of the future, kind of where we see this mod going, and then spend most of the time answering questions from you guys. So maybe Santeri, maybe talk about how this got started, and sort of how we came up with both the business relationship with Mojang, but then also the idea that Mojang wanted to support the idea of Minecraft in schools, and kind of maybe some of the philosophy behind it.
One question first. How many of you actually know what is MineCraftEDU? Okay, so I think there's like a small description. So basically, it's everything a teacher might find useful added or removed from the game for the teacher's classroom. It's sort of that. So when we didn't mess up with the actual game, so for a student, it's very pure Minecraft experience still. But sort of the teacher can go around the display and sort of see it as a learning environment. And so there are different switches you can use. For example, you can switch on student trees, so students can't move in the environment, and so they can give instructions and also like change maps and easy to host server. Let's go more about that, but sort of now you sort of get the picture what the actual MineCraftEDU is. So yeah, January 2011, during one cross-curricular university course that I was at, we just came up with an idea, so let's try Minecraft in a classroom. And I was a substitute teacher back then, part-time, along with my studies. And then our, I think, 4-person team went to one local school in eastern Finland. And from there, well, students were very excited about it, well, of course, but what was different was that teachers came into the class and said, so like, hey, what's this? So can we use it in some way? And so that was the signal, so there must be something else in this than only like a game in a classroom that's part more like some fun for between the learning. And then we decided to take this to like a step further, and we went to a SciFest science fair that also takes place in eastern Finland. And for that science fair, we asked Mojang, so could they support us with few gift codes so we can set up the accounts and computers, because we didn't have only but our own. And also if they could send us like a few t-shirts for the team and something like that. And they said this is an idea that we want to support, and they started. And during the SciFest, I came up with an idea, so like is there some way that we could make it easier and also a business for ourselves to like get this to schools and act as a school representatives for the company, Mojang and they said that, okay, so what are your thoughts? And we made this very initial brief description of a partnership and how we could like distribute some of the licenses for schools. But then also we came up with some very high-end simulations, like what we could make for the game itself. So we had this desertification when you shut down woods and the desert starts to sort of grow bigger and enlarge and all kinds of weird and very sort of high-end, but that we thought that might be very useful for the classroom and actual learning content, actual curriculum. But then I think when it was started the Mojang-us relationship and Aleksi was just starting as an intern also in the company, we didn't really have any money. So I didn't get any pay from any salary from the company, and Aleksi didn't either. And then
Some of us still haven't, by the way.
yeah, that's you.
This is end of the thing.
Yeah, but Tony is that's something. Where were I? And then Joel came up with there was a blog post about Minecraft in classroom, and it was a huge attention drawer, like all the hype gathered around Joel's blog. And then I posted a reply to his blog. So we're making this. We have this video blog with the science fair, and we have some kind of collaboration with Mojang. And then, okay, should we work something together? And we talked. First call on Skype. We decided to make this as a partnership and business. And 6 months before that, after that, we finally met face to face.
This is, I mean, I should say, thank you, Santeri. Sorry. I mean, I should say this has been a very international venture. I only met some of these guys face to face for the first time 2 days ago, so it's really a real 21st century entity. So in these initial stages, these guys had some great ideas about ways to use Minecraft in schools, but a lot of it was sort of based on individual curriculum. They were coming up with these sort of environmental simulations, which were great, and they still worked, and they're actually, the code is still in MineCraftEDU. It's kind of hidden, but one of the things I pushed for is I kind of saw that MineCraftEDU should be more of a platform for teachers to create their own curriculum. So I started pushing, we need to get building tools into the mod for teachers to be able to create their content quickly and easily. I kept pushing to make it easier and easier to launch a server and manage kids in the game. We're all gamers in the room probably, or mostly, and so, and we're techies, and we can figure out how to get a server up and running. But, if we want the history teachers, the English teachers, the language teachers, and social studies teachers of the world to be able to do this, we started lowering the barrier of entry. So, I want to ask Aleksi, kind of following that, when you started working with the code, we talked about, is this going to be a bucket mod? Are we going to be our own standalone version? We ended up being a standalone version. There were a lot of pros and cons of different ways. So maybe talk about what it was like to start working with the code and, to try to keep up with all of our crazy ideas, and then, working with Mojang and Jab, what that relationship's been like.
Yeah. So I started last summer working with MineCraftEDU. I first took a look with the bucket mods and stuff like that. But we wanted blindside mods. We wanted total conversations where we can do anything we want to do with the Minecraft. So we ended up with just Minecraft standard, Minecraft servers, and we used MCP Minecraft Core pack. And I started with that pack, and I started from scratch. I started learning how to do blocks with Minecraft. I started learning how to do entities and GUIs, graphical user interface, and something like that. And and eventually I had like working version in a month or two.
We had the first versions very quickly, yeah. You had the first versions.
I think I did the translation system support for Minecraft in a week, and did some more stuff like that. It was very fast, and I did the server 2 in like 2 weeks, the first draft. And the iterations have been so that I first create the basic template of the program, and after I finished the basic template of the program, the graphical user interface, and all the stuff that make it work, I send it to Joel or Santeri and just take a look at the software and say what's good, what's bad, and then I'll just improve it. So yeah, that's where we mostly.
And do you want to say sort of what Jab and the other Mojangists have been able to offer us and help us? Do you want to?
I've been in contact with Jeb like once a month or something. Yeah, not that often. And they've offered us the Minecraft source code at one point, and they've offered us the Minecraft launcher source code and stuff like that. But mostly, they don't have the time to help us with the development. Just they are constantly doing their own stuff. So mostly we have to do all the stuff ourselves. So that's not that much help for the merchant stuff. Yeah.
Thank you. So maybe we could just go down the line and each of you want to say, you know, kind of what stage the project is in when you joined, and then like something specifically, whether it was in the mod itself or, you know, with the web development, something that you contributed that was proud of or challenging or.
Yeah, mostly when I came in there was like only bug fixes left, and we kind of tweaked everything. We reformatted the quiz and installer. I was the guy pretty much behind the new installer. Has anyone used it yet? The new installer? Yeah, at least one guy. Yeah. Did you like it?
It was difficult for me because I'm not that technical, but
Okay.
but I yes, it was good.
But anyways,
I had to think through a lot of things that I never had to think about. So.
Yeah.
I'm not going to feel bad about making people think. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
and by the way, you mentioned the quiz block very quickly, but that's
Yeah.
not actually a feature
Yeah,
that's in
not
here.
all.
Do you want to explain what it is?
Quiz block. It's like, well, actually, Mika can explain it because you're
Okay,
the guy
right, fair.
mostly behind it. I created some web development, retweaked the members area. Probably a few of you remember the old one and the new one. And well, yeah, mostly bug fixes. Funniest bug fix probably was that when you go to the Nether and you use teleport blocks there, and if you teleport to another block, you don't teleport to the real world, but you teleport inside the Nether. That's pretty tricky to fix and stuff like that.
How many of you actually have MineCraftEDU?
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. No, it's all right. So we should explain. We should not assume people know what our special features are.
Yeah. Well, teleport blocks. You can place blocks around the world, and you can kind of swap between them
Yeah.
however you like.
I mean, yeah, so a lot of the features that we put in MineCraftEDU are things that you can do on a regular server, a bucket server, you know, being able to create borders or places where players can and can't build. But we've really done a lot of work to kind of simplify it and to use blocks for these things. So rather than have to type commands, teleport home, we create a teleport block with controls and buttons that you can set, you know, where, you know, what teleport blocks link to each other, that kind of thing. Or if you want to define a border where the students are not able to cross, they're just border blocks. So, you know, this is part of the process of simplifying sort of these concepts for teachers. We talk about using the language of blocks, which is kind of a good fit for Minecraft. And it's also, excuse me, you know, I talk about teachers creating lessons using these tools, but some of the most fascinating and rewarding things for me is when I turn the quote-unquote teacher tools over to the students and let them create their own adventures and their own custom maps. And they either do things for fun or they do things, they create lesson worlds for each other. And you know, anything, as a teacher, anything you can do to turn a student from a consumer of entertainment into a producer of entertainment is really meaningful, and it's a great experience for them, and there's a lot of learning that happens. Anyway, do you want to pass the mic?
So I mostly dealt with the client-side code of Minecraft. The first thing I worked on was the teleportation block, which allows you to basically teleport from one block to another. I've also worked on the information block, which basically is like a notepad inside a block, which you can edit. And I've also worked on the quiz block, which basically makes a block into like a quiz machine. You can set your own questions, and then students can answer those, and you can combine this with redstone and such. It's a really cool feature. Not yet in the game, but hopefully it will be soon.
Right. So the idea is, a teacher can set up questions, and if the student gets the right answer, that will trigger redstone, which can then open a door. And there's a lot of sort of gameplay possibilities in there. And we got that feature working pretty quickly. It's not in the mod yet because we realized there's sort of a back end. You want to be able to do some real data collection so you can really assess what the students are doing in the game. And that, we didn't want to rush that. That's a feature we wanted to do right. We want to sort of have a whole assessment tool kind of as a back end to MineCraftEDU. So that is a feature that's coming. We don't quite have a time frame, but yeah. So great. Tony?
Yep. When did I come along? About 5 months since Aleksi started, or something like that, with my internship. Basically, I can remember I did a lot of stuff together with Aleksi. But I started doing the teleport blocks from scratch. I think it took me a month or so, because I was still learning, and as these guys said, they've been tweaked ever since, so I guess I didn't do a really good job.
No, you didn't.
But yeah. And lately, I've been doing a lot of updates, when Minecraft updates and the MCP quarterback updates, and I put all the EDU stuff to the MCP. And the latest thing is, what is it called, an update tool or updater, when you can switch between releases, go back to older versions, newer versions, and stuff like that.
Great. Sure.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say that the whole thing, when some of us are talking something about they have learned and all that, so it has been a very long and very exciting flow experience. Like there have been it started from, we really didn't know what we were doing. We had the idea, and then it sort of grew and people joined, people left, one joined back, like for example Tony. And also as in the same way that Minecraft has its own community like us, there are also universities joining our program, making something for us, making research. There are just fans that come along and do you want to use our maps for if there's something that you could use for and then schools could use, and it just sort of, the ball is quite big, and there is a lot of input coming from all sides, and it's I don't know, it's very sort of going organic and growing organically at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree with that. I guess we could have done this in a more kind of corporate style and probably made better business decisions along the way, but that doesn't mesh very well with the Minecraft world that we all know and love, the community, and we sort of wanted to be able to tap into that kind of creative energy. And yeah, I mean, there's been just so many great Minecraft builders that I think they just really like the idea of their maps and their creations making a difference in the world and having an impact, and they love the idea that their creations may be used in a school somewhere. So, if anybody in this room has something that they think could serve this purpose, definitely contact us and let us know. We've gone through about half. I mean, before I turn it over to questions, I do want to look ahead a little bit. We've really been in heavy software development mode for over a year now, and we finally have the software to a polished point where we feel comfortable giving it to students. So we're kind of at a point where we need to figure out what's next, what's the best way to get it into as many schools as possible. So, I mean, Santeri, do you want to maybe talk about what you see next for the company as CEO? Because if you don't know, then we're doing
We already said that we have, we don't know if we made all the right business decisions. Well, yeah, well, maybe the first thing is to make all the 360 approach for the schools. Meaning that there are evaluation is one one possibility, teachers could evaluate what the students have been doing since 1.5 hours. It can be very hard to follow what happens in the virtual environment if you try to sort of facilitate the actual learning process at the same time. And also the content, sort of sharing and downloading content is one of the sort of the last features that are now coming before the sort of the heavy programming period ends. And also we have been, now it's very concentrated on and very, like the polishing has been taking place in the classroom environment. So now not all schools can just download Java archive and extract it and start playing. So we need to, like many schools have been asking for like a service that they can get a third-party host and all the things are made for them and they can just start playing. And also different kind of embedded ways to use it as a part of learning environment, like a Moodle. Well, maybe not Moodle, but for example, some more high-end.
Well, I mean, but like to integrate it into existing school web infrastructure.
Yeah, for example, a very concrete example is that students can barely, small students can barely keep in mind, like memorize one single login information. So when there are like a learning environment, some other environments where you can do your homework, then there's Minecraft. Maybe they can memorize Minecraft, but we don't know if they can memorize more if they reserve the slot for Minecraft creation.
Yeah, about the development side, Santeri mentioned the map sharing tool and such things. So about the development, we've been focusing on first creating the updater, making the MineCraftEDU launcher and all work correctly, maybe create the web version, and then like the map sharing tool, updater, when you have all these basic tools in MineCraftEDU, we can then start creating more special effects like erosion and such effects that affect the gameplay, not the actual game.
And maybe one more
Yeah.
thing. And now just wanted to tell you that we started working with 2 universities. Well, because nowadays I live in Madrid, so I try to get the best out of the time I spent there. And we started working with Complutense University and Autonoma University from Madrid to make like Minecraft, within Minecraft, some tools, so very small children like 7, 8-year-old in schools can start figuring out how to make basic programming. So that's a one bigger initiative that will take place during the next year.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean that. I mean, to me, that's one of our kind of holy grails. Is everything that's great about Minecraft taking advantage of, but sort of under the surface, there's all this code, and if we can get the kids to go to the next step and start learning to program using MineCraftEDU or some version of it. And I believe the creator of Computercraft, was he going to be here? He's not here. But there's other people out there that have taken steps to this who sort of, did anyone learn to program using Logo with the turtle and drawing shapes? That's how I started. Yeah, okay, excellent. We've been talking about ways to, there have people that have gotten that kind of programming experience designed for very young children into the game, and that's something we really, really want to do. So, the idea is, students would get the whole experience of game creation from the lowest level of learning to program, and also high concepts of being able to map out sort of different gameplay experiences and test and iterate and go through the process that real game designers do. All right, so I would love to get some questions from the audience here. Yes?
Let's just take it back to a teacher who's somewhat tech savvy, but not very. They have this fantastic idea. At primary school, I'd really like to use Minecraft with those 9, 10-year-olds, but if I just download the demo version, they can't really play, they can't have their own identity. I can't let some of them who have a Minecraft identity use that in school, because then the others say, well, I can't play. And I know there is MineCraftEDU, and you can have all this teacher control and all that, but it's there, but how do you get from this basic can you convince your IT specialist in the school that it's going to be safe and you're not messing up their system?
Do you want to? Well, I mean, I'll broadly answer, and maybe these guys can talk a little more specifics. So much of this is stemming from my own classroom experience, and then the feedback we've gotten from other testers at pilot schools. We've really designed it to work in a school environment well. I think one thing we have not done a very good job on is sort of explaining the process, explaining how to get from point A to point B to point B on the website. This is something that now that the development is, well, it'll never be finished, but as things have slowed down, I want to turn my attention to looking at it from I guess you could say, the customer's experience, the customer's point of view, and how to explain how to get started, what the differences really are, and why it works in a school environment.
So what's the question, more technical side or a pedagogical side?
No, what's the next step if you have this idea, yes, I would like to use this?
Okay.
Say you have 30 kids, you get 30 licenses, or what is the next step?
Okay, so, all right.
Go ahead.
Okay. So we charge per seat. You don't have to buy a license for every single kid in your school, but let's say you have a computer room with 25 computers, you could buy 25 licenses from us at half cost, one for each computer.
And they are the same than the Minecraft licenses. So
Right, it is a Minecraft gift code. Like when we're selling you licenses, what we're actually buying is like a Minecraft gift code. So you have access to the full game. But if you choose to download MineCraftEDU and install that on your school computers, you get access to all these teacher tools. And some of the things you mentioned about students, some kids already having accounts and wanting to use their name or not. That's one of the first things we put into MineCraftEDU was the ability to have the students type, as soon as they log in, they can type their own name. They can scroll through a list of skins to choose their appearance. This is something that's very important to especially young children to be able to kind of create their own identity in the game.
Even though they share a license with somebody else.
Even though they share a license, it's at the point that they log in, they can choose their appearance. Because there's so much work that we've done that most teachers will never have to think about or even realize that we did. Because things like your identity in the game, it's tied to your Minecraft.net account. And if you can't use a personal Minecraft.net account in school, either because the school can't buy enough licenses or it's blocked, the school has a proxy or firewall and it can't get to the Minecraft servers, it falls apart. So we've sort of addressed a lot of sort of technical, but also gameplay and social and curricular issues like that through the experience. Were you waiting at something?
Yeah, actually about the ID part for your IT guys. You can define the ports yourself and the IP address yourself at the school. So there's kind of no problem because every school should have at least some kind of LAN or internet connection, right? And should be. And you can kind of define everything you want to. So you just enter the IP of the local machine, or you enter the IP of the hosting machine. So you can contact via LAN or you can contact via internet. So there's no kind of problem between them.
Right. I mean, you can run a MineCraftEDU server like a traditional server and host it online if you choose to. But how we decided, sort of the primary use case scenario that we designed was it was a teacher running the server on a teacher computer on the desk, and then one or more student computers in the room connecting to that server. So you can actually be completely offline, and it will still, you have full functionality. And that was one of the first things that we asked Mojang for, and they said yes, the ability to allow schools to be able to play the game fully featured without an internet connection. That's something you cannot do with regular Minecraft.
Yeah, it doesn't affect it. Yeah.
You can authenticate, and there are reasons and cases where you want to do that for security. You can still use Mojang's account security to prevent people from impersonating each other. But in the simplest case or the most disconnected case, it's fully featured.
Yeah.
Is there another question? Yeah.
one of the problems they have is communication. And I thought this is a fantastic program. If I could actually take the program into the school, into various schools, and use that to help them communicate. So the lesson would be something like they're doing collaborative fields, so actually having to talk to each other to do things. I don't know really how to approach the school because I've looked at your website a while ago, and I really need a sales skill. How do I actually sell it to the school and say this is what the program will do, this is how I would actually teach a lesson, and these are kind of the benefits. Have you got that yet? That we can.
Yeah, and we have one great reference for that kind of job. He's a teacher from Denmark, and I think that the best way to convince people for that kind of use is to contact to. I can give, or if you can give me your like contact details, I can connect you with the Danish teacher, and I think that's the best way to go to get someone to really believe and try this.
Also, I'll just say, at MineCon last year, I was on a panel with, it was the Minecraft as a tool for social change, something like that panel. And there were two mothers on that panel of children, their son had Asperger's, and they were speaking specifically to the benefits that they've seen you know, in their children from playing the game, both sort of from a technological and a social standpoint. It's, in one case, she was saying, you know, her son went from really being ostracized to admired in his school environment because of his knowledge and ability in Minecraft, and just what a powerful experience that was. So I can put you in contact with them, but this does sort of circle back around to what Sabine was saying about, you know, we need to do a better job sort of explaining how to get started on our own website for people like you looking for that information. All right, someone how about in the Leo? No, not Leo. Martins. Martins.
Yeah.
Martins. Thank you.
Maybe just a short technical question, because you guys are constantly, you know, trying to keep up with Mojang updating. What version is MineCraftEDU on now at the place?
Yeah.
Yes. So whenever Minecraft releases a new version, Minecraft Coder Pack does the new work to get the new source code out for us, and it takes like a few days, like 2 days right now. They have improved their tools, but for us, for our part, we have really large code base, so it can take from 1 day to a week to merge our existing code from old Minecraft version to the neighbor version. So right now we are just running catch up with Minecraft versions, so it's not very beneficial for our right now. Yeah.
Right. I mean, we often run about one version behind, and you know, it's really important to us to try to stay current. You know, because kids play and they do all these new features at home, and then they want to use them in class. So we do the best we can, but you know, Minecraft is updated relentlessly, and so that's one of our big, to stay ahead of that curve and also get our own features and our own innovations into the game to challenge it. And then it's also it's sort of a positive and sort of a minus. There's been a number of features that we've gotten working that then Jeb and company have then taken versions of and put in the original game, which is, you know, we actually had translations working before the official Minecraft did. We had ways to write text in the game before Minecraft introduced books, and there's like several other things like that. We had a searchable inventory. Server-side texture pack. So there's all these things, you know, and I'm not saying that they didn't copy us necessarily. I mean, a lot of these things are, you know, sort of common things that everybody wanted, although they haven't been into checking us out and taking ideas. You know, so we're honored by that, but it's also a lot of work, because then either we have to reverse engineer our features to work with them, or scrap ours and use the new. So there's a lot of wasted cycles, so to speak, in the development process.
Yeah, if I can answer quickly, the EDU stuff is in 1.4.5. The client is ready, and I'm doing the server side next week, I think. So if there's no problems, it should be out shortly.
Great. So like one of the like what Joe was and some of the sort of the dilemmas we have with this project are just from the reason that this is a very unique project, and one of the, I think, we started way before Portal 2 was started, or they started to convert it to educational use, and so when we started, we really didn't know anything about how this would work. So now it's like a huge learning process for us too, and there are games upcoming and already out there that are in some ways, in some areas, maybe better, maybe they have potential also in education, and that's something we are very interested in too, and sort of we have been connecting with other game companies, and then when the next title someday comes out, we are much sort of aware how this thing should be done, and we also have like a track record to show like this is the success, or these are the problems we had. Let's not face this once more.
Another question? Did you have one in front? Yeah.
Sure. I wondered if you had considered the possibility. You talk about using sort of Minecraft community ethos to bring in more participation and idea generation. And I wondered if you had thought about that for the front end, not so much the technical side, but in the ideation for how do you get into, for example, our solutions. It sounds like there's a lot of solutioneering that needs to be done, right?
Solutioneering.
So,
I like that.
yeah. So you need some solutions maybe for how do you address the technical side of the licensing, and then maybe some more solutioneering for how do you sell the idea to an administration. And it seems like that's a perfect kind of workshop kind of thing to do online, maybe in a Google Hangout, where you invite people with that interest to help you bounce ideas off each other and show you their perspectives.
The Minecraft teachers?
Yeah. So I can tell them. Actually we have a Minecraft Teachers Forum where teachers can talk about teaching with Minecraft, and our staff has a chat room in the internet. We have like 2 to 3 visitors in the room, and from time to time I'm just throwing out some ideas out there, and people are saying, okay, that's cool, but do you want to improve that feature and like that. But more recent, we've been talking about opening.
Where's that chat room?
It's not open yet, so for public, But we've been recently talking about opening up that chat room for everyone, so that we would have more people there, and I would just throw out some ideas in the room.
It could be a good time to open it.
Yes.
All right, consider it open. I mean, it's on IRC if it's familiar with IRC, and we can put a plug in on our webpage.
I would just encourage you to set a schedule and topics so that people know they're going to come at this time and this place for this topic, so that you get people who are interested in that.
I mean, I think one of the biggest challenges, we sort of have these systems in place, but one of the biggest challenges has been discovery and allowing people to get on topic information. Yes, we will do better.
And there's a lot of work in that, so I know that that's going to take your time, and I just want to know, I want you to know that we see that's a very big deal, but at the same time it's valuable.
Right. So I mean, I'll just throw out a plug for if you just go to MinecraftEDU.com/forums, it's just a Google Groups. You can also just go to Google Groups and search for Minecraft teachers, plural S, not apostrophe S. And so, we have, there's over 100 teachers, educators, or just other interested parties on that group, kicking ideas around and talking about what they've done, and that's really big. So, but these are the early adopters. These are the people who have sought us out or we've invited into the community. I think what we really need to do is kind of flip the lens around, so to speak, so that we're broadcasting what's going on in these communities and ways for people to discover them. So, but anybody who's worked in the game industry knows that community management is a very delicate but important aspect. So we're trying to, it's very easy to kill a community. Anyone who runs a popular Minecraft server knows that it can become unpopular overnight. So we're trying to do it right.
One sentence to that.
Yeah, sure.
There is a website set up.
Oh, yes, you have a great website,
by
yeah.
a primary school teacher called primaryminecraft.com. And I set that up as part of a university course I did a year ago. So it's kind of up to date. It has MineCraftEDU in it and some general ideas on Minecraft in primary schools. So primaryminecraft.com. Okay.
Sure. And we also have a wiki, MineCraftEDU.com/wiki, which has a lot of information about the inner workings of MineCraftEDU and some links to real-world examples that other teachers have done and some curricular stuff. But I'll be brutally honest here. I personally think the wiki's a mess. It needs a lot of reorganization. It needs some cleanup. So, you know, if any of you want to get involved, it wiki. I mean, it survives on community involvement. We just really haven't had time to tackle that. If any of you would like to contribute some time shuffling articles around into a way that would be more useful for newcomers to find the information they're looking for, we would welcome that. And I think just let us know on the forums or email us directly. We can give you an account on the wiki. Is that how it works? I'm a little scared to just straight open it up to the world at large. Another question? Yeah.
I use kind of reference, kind of a criterion reference assessment kind of tool, maybe for reading, math, and writing. Is that how I understood that? Where they would be assessed on what they know.
Well, the assessment tool, it's a lot of the decisions we make are intentionally very open-ended to sort of create a platform. So, you know, we are not going to do, at least in the short term, we're not going to do sort of a math assessment challenge ourselves or a literacy. But what we're going to do is give teachers the tool, like the quiz blocks we were talking about. You know, a teacher drops a quiz block in the world. It looks like it's got a big question mark on it. And the student walks up and clicks on it. And the teacher can decide whether they want to, you know, right, is it a multiple choice question? Is it a true false question? Is it a long form question? Or is it, you know, a short form question? And the teacher, if appropriate, can set if there are correct answers or not. And there can be multiple questions. They can go through a series of questions. You know, it would be very, very easy to create an assessment about, you know, math skills and, you know, have the students work out the answers and then input their answers through Minecraft. I mean, I think using a quiz block in Minecraft is much more fun than filling in a little oval or something. But you know, what we've done some work on is the back end. So you know, to present this data in a way that's useful to the, first of all, to the teacher, but that can also possibly be aggregated to do some larger research. And you know, that's the part that's not implemented yet. Does that answer your question?
It does. And then can this be used on an iPad? MineCraftEDU?
The MineCraftEDU works on Mac, PC, and Linux right now. We have started to talk to Mojang a little bit about, you know, what would an iPad version look like, but the problem is the mobile version is you know, a completely different code base. You know, and I just don't know if it's ever going to be practical to put all of these features in. What I would like to see happen is, you know, us to work out a way for schools to buy the mobile version in sort of the same process that they buy from us, so that maybe they could buy the mobile version at a discount, and then we would perhaps create curriculum around it. But I could be wrong, I'm never say never, but I doubt we'll be modifying the mobile version anywhere near to the extent that we've modified the desktop version. Anyone want to add to that? Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, in the back.
What you said about the teacher assessment, how the teachers see what the students have done, I think that's a very powerful thing to sell your product to schools.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the most powerful tool that you have.
Yeah, we have been very lucky so far that schools have been founding us. So we hope that we crack 1,000 schools before Christmas. So in 1 year that we have been promoting this openly, I think for a mainstream game it's quite a good number. And yeah, and from the evaluation side, it's as a teacher, it's many have been asking that, and we had a project with Carnegie Mellon University. We throw them an idea, and they produce it as like a very powerful qualitative data-based, like a time-lapse tool, so you can see the whole learning process. But the problem with that, to be like open with it, was that it was made on top of wrong code. So we have like we have to rewrite the whole thing before we can actually use that. But it's hopefully it will be out. So because I strongly believe that's like a big deal for universities and all the people interested in learning in virtual worlds when they get access to that.
Right. So yeah. We actually Carnegie Mellon, they did the assessment tool, evaluation tool, so you can see which student did which block in the world and just answered which questions and went there. But the problem was that they did it in a framework, that doesn't really work with Minecraft that well. They have to start a separate program and select the world they want to be in, and there's a lot of work to make it work. So. Yeah.
I mean, you know, I consider it a successful proof of concept.
Yeah.
It was based off of the, what was the mapping tool? It wasn't MCEdit, it was
X-ray Minecraft.
Minecraft, yeah, so there's a mod that allows you to see the world. So the creator of that mod gave us permission to modify the code. So the teacher can actually fly through the world and it's color coded. Blocks have an overlay over them, it's color coded which student did what. And it also had, you know, how many blocks were mined and how many blocks were placed by individual students and things like that. So it was cool, but it just didn't integrate the way we needed it to, and it was clunky to use. But it showed us that it can work. And you know, in our copious free time, we will sort of reinvent that and make it something that's up to our standards. Something else.
Sorry.
Actually, are we? We are out of time. We have to. There's another group waiting through. So, thank you all for coming. I know Santeri and I have to run off to another meeting, but maybe these guys will be around to answer questions, and we'll be floating around all day. I would love it if anybody has questions. Come and find us. I'm going to leave a small stack of business cards here.
Yeah, if you want to go to, for example, use general@teachergaming.com and send us an email and said that you were on this panel